Hey guys, Shay here from Fool on a Journey, and I am back with my next episode of Solitaire with 78. This particular mode of Solitaire is called Monte Carlo, or at least it is in the book that I am using. If you want to know more about the book that I'm using for this series, check out the intro. I am using, for the first demonstration, so it looks more like playing cards, I am using the Playing Card Arcana. And then for the second part, where I do it again really quick with something that looks more like a tarot deck, here is the Tarot of Trees. Sorry, I'll try not to hit my tripod again. The Tarot of Trees for the second round. And I'm actually not going to play all the way through because this one can take a while. This is a great time killer. So how do you play? You will shuffle your deck, which I already have, but I'll do a little bit of overhanding. Okay, and then you are going to lay out 5 by 5 cards. Okay, so cards are laid out. Whether or not you turn your majors up really depends on you. I think it's easier in the example if we're looking at them. Okay, so then we've got our stock. Let's see, where can you see it the best? Stock will be right here. Okay, and then we're going to discard up here. So the way that you discard is if there are any pairs of cards that are next to each other, either horizontally, so like if those were 2 8s, we could discard. Vertically, if those were 2 7s, we could discard, or diagonally, so here. So like these 2 8s could be discarded. Okay, now where it gets tricky with 78 is the majors. If you want to just say if it's 2 majors next to each other, discard, that's totally fine. You could do odd even. So like if the world is 21 and the judgment is 20, so then those wouldn't work. This 3 and 20, let's see, 21, the tower is 16, so 16 and 20 would be 2 even. That's definitely a way you can do it. You can do it based on element of like the zodiac signs if you know all of them. So I know strength is Leo. Leo is fire, so that would be fire. But I mean, I'll be honest, I don't have all the planets memorized, so if that's something that you know, go for it. If it's something you want to learn, great way to put it into practice, which that's sort of the idea, is this is just getting you familiar with your cards and anything that you want to be familiar with and want to be able to see and immediately recognize. So if that's something you're trying to learn, definitely like get your little cheat sheet, and then as you go, I'm sure you'd pick it up. The other option you could do it is based on a person. So like the Wheel of Fortune is not a person. Judgment is not an individual person, but the Empress, she's a person. The Magician, that would be a person. The Emperor would be a person. You could do it that way. I don't know if it's even that way. You'd have to look into it, and then you'd have to decide on things like the star has the woman pouring the water in it. Is the star the star in the sky, or is the star the woman? I don't know. Up to you. So for the basis of just keeping this easy, we're going to do evens. When you play with evens, just know that the Fool then becomes 22, because 0 obviously is not odd or even, it's neutral. So 22 is the Fool, so the Fool is even. So we will start removing cards. If you get into a place where you're playing this a lot and you really want to win, which we'll get into how you win in a minute, you want to really think about all of the pairs before you remove them, because you'll think about what is going to end up next to each other based on what you take out. However, based on just general play, let's go for it. So we said 16 and 20. Those can get discarded. Anything else? 10, 2, jack. Oh, here's 2 jacks. Anything else? 7, 8, 9. Lots of 2s. Oh, 8. Okay, so once you've removed all the pairs that are touching each other, you're then going to shift the cards back in the order they were dealt. So this would go here and here. So you see what I mean now as you shift the cards, where you're trying to want to think about, if you're really trying to win, how the cards got dealt. Okay, and pairs again. Here we go. What do we see? Two, 21 and 7. All right, those are the only ones I see. So I will fill this out one more time so you can see it. And then we will shift on. All right, so what do we have here? 7 and 7. Six and 22. Okay, and then from there, again, you'd shift the cards and keep going. Now, you win if you remove the entire deck from the stock to the tableau, and then from the tableau into the waste pile. That is winning. This game gets very obsessive, and whether or not you win becomes highly irritating, and you will play a million times if you get into this. Again, it really sort of depends on how hard you're going to make what you're doing with the majors. If you want to do the odd even like I've been doing, that's pretty fair. But it's definitely not easy, and you definitely start getting very aware of where the cards are going to go once you've picked them up. So just an idea. So real quick, I'm going to move these, and then we will deal out the Tarot of Trees so you can see it with a less playing card looking deck. Okay, so here we have the Tarot of Trees laid out, and it is definitely going to be a little bit more difficult looking at something that's non-traditional, and especially a deck you don't know very well, to try to figure out where things go. So as you get stuck, or if you get stuck, immediately look at that very first card, because you want to start at the very top, which I know you guys can't see the top of my top row, but it is a 5. So, and then the 3 cards around that 5. So we've got a 5 in the top corner. Below it, there's a 5, a 3, and an odd major. So immediately we know that the 2 5s then can go. Okay, around the world, we're looking for another odd major, but there is not one. Then we're looking around that 4, and around that 2, and an even major. Nope. A 7. Okay, so here's 2 9s. Ace, Hermit, 9, 8. Okay, so then we got to shift back. Shifting is definitely easier, and knowing where things go if you keep them pretty well evenly lined up. And then pull from stock to fill in the empty on the bottom. All right. Oh, so there's 2 even majors. Okay, looks like those are the only 2, so then we'll move. important to keep them in order, especially if you're doing the being aware of what you pull out kind of method where you're trying to really win. Oh, there's 2 10s. And move. And I will fill out the tableau one more time, but I feel like you have the idea of how this works. And you would, if you were going to play the game all the way out, keep going until your stockpile, which is this right here, is completely gone and hopefully totally discarded into the waste. Okay, so just start at the top. We got an odd major, and around it is a queen, a king, and a 4. Queen, king, 8, 2, 7, 3. Oh, aces. Okay, and you just keep going from there, where you would shift and just keep it going on for as long as you want to. And that is how you play Monte Carlo with 78. And as always, thanks for watching.